We're now going to look at some super useful phrasal verbs for get, look and bring. So without waiting around anymore, let's just jump straight into phrasal verbs. 5 phrasal verbs with get. And our first phrase is get ahead. And let's take a look at the example. I'll do everything I can to get ahead in my life. So get ahead means to make progress. It means to have more positive options in your life. Get ahead means to be successful. I'll do everything I can to be successful, to get ahead in my life. Definitely very colloquial in terms of native speakers using this. So super useful for you to use too. Get on with. In truth, I don't get on with my sister very well. So we can use it positively and negatively. And it means it's generally used to describe our relationship with someone. So I really get on with my sister. So we have a super positive relationship. We're really friendly and kind to each other. I really don't get on with my sister. Sadly, we don't have a good relationship together. Get at. Let's take a look at the example. What do you mean? I don't understand what you're trying to get at. So in this particular use, get at means to communicate your idea. It's about trying to tell somebody what you think about a range of topics. It's about trying to communicate your understanding. I don't know what you're getting at. I don't know what you're trying to say. I don't understand what you're trying to get at. I don't really understand what the point of your speaking is. What do you mean? Quite simply. Here we have get rid of, and as you guess, it can mean to leave something or throw something behind. I'm doing everything I can to get rid of my old car. So intentions to get rid of. I'm trying to sell it. I'm trying to have it removed from my possession. I really wish I could get rid of this phone. It doesn't work well anymore. I'm trying to move it away from my possession. Sell it is often what it's used in place of. Okay, and the final 5th phrasal verb for get is get by. Quite a sympathetic phrasal verb. So here's the example. I've got a bit of money saved. I'll get by. It means to be able to afford, in monetary terms, to be able to afford to live. Can you get by? Do you have enough money to live? I can just about get by. I've got just about enough money to live. Yeah, I get by very easily. I have lots of money and living is no problem. I can afford to eat. Get by. It's usually used in quite sympathetic or personal types of conversations. How are you getting by? Another really useful phrasal verb with get. So let's move on to look. And our first phrasal verb for look is look after. It doesn't mean to take a look at something later after the event. It means to care for somebody. Take care and look after yourself, okay? If we say to someone, look after yourself, it means to be careful of your health, to try and eat well, to get sleep. Take good care of your own health. Are you looking after yourself well? I look after myself really carefully. Exercise and eat healthily. Take care and look after yourself, okay. Look into. I'm not sure why that happened. Let me look into it. So almost in a kind of detective sort of use, we can say, I'll look into this. It means that you will investigate. You will spend some time thinking about possibly an inquiry or a problem. It shouldn't happen like this. The motorbike isn't working. I'm going to really look into it and try and figure out why. So it kind of means to investigate. Up next is look ahead. The finance industry is unstable. Don't look ahead as it's uncertain. So look ahead, in this particular meaning that I'm sharing with you, it means to look into the future. Don't try and predict the future. Look ahead. I'm not going to look too far ahead, as it's an unpredictable situation. Okay, look over. Kind of similar to look into. It's often used as a request. Let's take a look at the example first. Could you look over my contract, please? And here is a request asking someone, could you look over this important document? And in this use, look over is kind of asking someone to read again, to check something carefully, usually something written. I'll look over it. I'll give it a look. I will read it. I will check the information. Look over. And here we have look up to, a very different meaning to the other phrasal verbs with look. Let's take a look at the example. My brother is the best. I really look up to him. And I suppose if we were going to explain this phrasal verb with a synonym, a word that has a similar meaning, a word or a phrase, we could change look up to into admire. I really admire him. I really look up to David Beckham. He is very charitable. I really admire this person. Look up to. Often used in a question too. Who do you look up to? Who is your role model? Okay, some really interesting phrasal verbs there. And our final set of 5 with bring. And our first one is bring about. I really want to bring about positive change. Now, in this sort of sense, it means to act. It means to change a situation. So in this example, I really want to bring about positive change. Maybe it could be from a manager at a place of work, or let's say a teacher at a university. I really want to bring about positive change for my students. I really want to begin something, bring about. I want to do something. Let's take a look at the example. When you come to my place, please bring over some food too. So it means to take something to another location. Could you bring over the maths book? Could you bring over the university work that we were doing together? So it means to take something or request for someone to collect something and bring on their person. Okay, bring along. A similar sort of phrasal verb. Could you bring along your hard drive? Mine's broken. Could you bring over your hard drive? We can really swap bring over and bring along quite easily there. Their meanings are very similar. To take something to another location. Don't worry, I'll bring along my book so we can study together. Okay, next up is bring down. Quite a different meaning, and a little bit, it has quite sad connotations. It's a pretty sad story. I don't want to bring down the mood. We could really again swap this phrasal verb bring down in terms of a synonym, and we could say sadden, we could say depress, and it generally means to affect people's mood in a negative way, and often means to make people feel a bit sad and upset. I don't want to bring you down. It's quite a sad story. This lesson is bring around. Let's take a look at the example. After some persuasion, I brought him around to my way of thinking. So two slight changes here. I've changed the verb tense to brought, which is perfectly fine. And I've also added a subject, him, brought him around. And really all it means is to persuade or change a person's thinking to be the same as yours. Yeah, I'll bring him around. Don't worry, I'll persuade him. This person didn't agree, but I brought him around to my way of thinking. I changed his mind. Okay, so there are some really useful phrasal verbs, and I would highly recommend writing them all down and just spending 20-30 minutes practicing using them in your speaking. Of course, jump to the Q&A if you want to show me some examples or you have any questions.